For 10 weeks, the pictures have been the same. The gaunt pop star with his phalanx of lawyers and supporters, and the parade of witnesses coming to court to testify against him. But while the parade of his own witnesses won't start for a few days, in practical terms, Jackson's defense began in the last full week of the prosecution's case.
I think they need a miracle at this point.
The reason, Jackson's ex-wife, Debbie Rowe. Best ex he ever had, headlined one newspaper. She was supposed to help prove the prosecution's conspiracy charge against Jackson, but instead testified there was a conspiracy, all right, one aimed by the people around him right at the pop star's millions.
There are different Michaels. There's my Michael, then there's the Michael everyone else sees.
Of course, the Michael Jackson everyone else has been seeing all spring is the defendant in a criminal trial. The central charge against him, molesting a young boy. In the end, it will be the credibility of that young boy, now 15 years old, that will determine whether Jackson is officially labeled a pedophile. That would be all anyone remembers of this trial, the sad coda to a once brilliant career, and prosecutors will work to make that label stick.
They have two more areas to go, the cross-examination of the defense witnesses and their ability to come back and rebuttal.
For now, what's called the prosecution's case in chief is essentially over.
Today, the judge saying he will allow the prosecution to enter into evidence two books that were seized from Michael Jackson's ranch back in 1993. The prosecution says the books contain nude photos of little boys together. Inside one of the books, an inscription reads, "Look at the true spirit of happiness and joy in the boys' faces. This is the spirit of boyhood, a life I have never had and always dreamed of. This is the life I want for my children." It is signed Michael Jackson. Also today, the prosecution called Ian Drew to the stand. He used to work with one of Michael Jackson's alleged unindicted co-conspirators. His testimony was heard today outside of the presence of the jury as the judge tries to decide how much of his testimony the jury will ultimately hear. He did say before the court that when he arrived at Jackson's ranch to work with the accuser's family for the interview for the rebuttal video, he says he was told that the family had disappeared in the middle of the night. He says he believed the word escape was used. Remember, the accuser's mother has testified that she and her children had to, quote, escape from Jackson's ranch because she says they were being held against their will. And Lisa, we are not expecting the prosecution to rest its case today, as they had said earlier.
Prosecutors in the Michael Jackson trial are calling their last few witnesses before resting their case.
Well, hi there, Allison. Today marks the beginning of week 10 of Michael Jackson's criminal trial out here in Santa Maria, California. And we did see the embattled pop star arrive at the courthouse this morning. Greeted by a small group of fans, he offered a wave or two before he headed into the courthouse, and Jackson was accompanied by his mother, Catherine, who has been by his side very often during the trial. And every day we do see a group of fans arrive here at the courthouse pretty early, hoping to get one of the public seats. Now today, the prosecution once again focusing on phone records in an apparent attempt to try and link Michael Jackson to his unindicted alleged co-conspirators.
We're at the very, very end of the prosecution case. They have to wrap everything up in a neat bow. There are a lot of loose ends out there. They've got to somehow tie them together and put the pieces of the puzzle together so that when you look at all of the pieces, they form the picture in the prosecution's mind of Michael Jackson, a child molester.
And we are being told the prosecution says it expects to wrap up its case early this week. Allison, perhaps as early as tomorrow.
This afternoon, prosecutors in the Michael Jackson trial said, "We are done." After more than 2 months of testimony from over 80 witnesses, but one pundit today described their last witness as the Kato Kaelin of the Michael Jackson case. Ouch. It's supposed to be a bombshell, but I'm guessing the Kato reference means that he may have just been a bomb.
Sure, there may have been a conspiracy, but Michael Jackson may have been the target of that conspiracy, not somebody intimately involved with trying to commit a crime.